Hello, everybody. It's Romania Black, and we're on part 2 of my journey through the Modao Zushi audio drama, novel, manhwa, all of that good stuff. So basically, I have been going through the novel and reading the manhwa, and then I'm going to be reacting to the audio drama with you all. And so in the last episode, I did chapters 1 through 5, and then chapters 1 through 12 of the manhwa, which pretty much covers all of episode 1 of season 1. And so what I'm going to be doing this episode is going through the second episode's worth of chapters, and that is going to be the section called Arrogance, which is chapters 6 through 10 in the novel, as well as the manhwa chapters 13 through 26. So I've read the novel, I've checked out the manhwa, I've got 2 pages front and back of notes, and then I'm going to be listening to the audio drama, and probably as I'm listening to the audio drama, I'm going to be talking through my notes. So because of copyright, and because we can't have the audio drama sounds aired on this video, I'm going to be listening with headphones to the audio drama, and I'm going to have a timer so that y'all can follow along with me. And then as we're listening to the audio drama, I'm going to talk about my notes, and then any extra notes that I don't get to in the audio drama, I'm going to be talking about at the end of it. And so I'm doing 2 episodes of the audio drama, so this may be a little bit of a lengthy reaction here tonight, but I am going through, I've got lots of notes that I do want to talk about. And so I know that there's an outro music at the end of each of these, so even though I'm going to be timing the episodes, during the outro music, I'll probably be talking over it with some notes, and then stopping the first episode here that covers 6, 7, and 8, talking about those chapters, and then covering the rest of it, which will be doing, let me see here, kind of already going through whatever is there. So I've got some notes here. I'm pretty excited. It's kind of a double-edged sword, though, you know? I realized that I watched the donghua first, which I'm actually happy that I did. I'm happy that I watched the show before I got into the novel, and I will say that because the donghua throws you just into the story. Like, after watching the first section of the audio drama, and after reading these chapters specifically, man, episode 2 makes a lot more sense. I really have a better understanding about the whole cultivation world after reading the novel. It's like, oh, okay, everything's pretty much explained, and that really helps. And so on the one hand, it is nice to get the novel explanation, because in the donghua, they just throw you into it, and you're like, figure it out. And if it hadn't been for y'all in the comments and on Patreon helping me, I probably would have been like, I don't know what's going on. But here's the thing. I love the donghua because of the mystery, because of the intrigue. When you watch the show and you haven't read the novel or read the manhwa, you're just kind of like, I don't know what's going on, but I want to know. So there's like this hunger there, like you just feel hungry, like you want to figure out what's going on. And I really love that. In the novel, they're already talking about the Sunspot campaign. They mention Wushin's sword. Yao's brought up. I'm like, whoa, we're getting Yao already? Like, there's lots of stuff talked about in the novel that you don't even get to, like, season 2. So I'm really excited about that, that the novel is doing things a little differently. And there is, I've noticed, a couple of scenes already that are not in the donghua that I wish were there, and I want to talk to you all about those. So it's kind of, I like that I'm watching the show first, because that means I'm not disappointed when something from the novel doesn't show up, and I'm like, oh, I wish that had been there. So then when I go back and read the novel and read the manhwa, I'm like, oh, cool, look at all this extra stuff. I wish they would have shown that, but it doesn't change my opinion of the actual show. I still like the donghua a lot, and this is just adding to it. And it's all canon, so that makes it even better. So yeah, I'm pretty excited, y'all, to get into this next part, Arrogance. I will say, what a fitting title for these chapters, because there's a lot of arrogance going around. The arrogance of the people that are gossiping, the arrogance of the people underestimating the goddess, which includes Baby Ling. The arrogance of Baby Ling is strong in this one, but also the arrogance of Chang, the arrogance of Wushin to an effect, and then even Wanji to a sense. Like, there's just a lot of these characters feeling like they are in positions of power, and it's really, really fascinating. So yeah, I hope y'all are ready, but let us dive in, shall we? We are going to delve into there. I've got a timer pulled up, and I've got the episode here pulled up as well. So Also, I'm eventually probably going to have to invest in headphones because I will tell you these suckers fall out of my ears so easily. But let's do this. We are going to start the audio drama here in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Oh, we get Jan first in this. Okay, so this is a part that's cut out of the Donghua. And she's going to pray to the goddess. Oh, as far as the audio drama goes, this makes so much more sense to start with her. I just want my husband to love and care for me only for his lifetime. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This whole thing is a monkey's paw. You gotta be careful what you wish for and how you word it. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, so it's cool. The novel doesn't start out with this, but it's cool that we start out with her praying to this goddess to set everything up. And that menacing laugh. Yes. Awesome. Good. This is a cool way to start this out. Yes. Yes. Episode 2. All right. So this is covering chapters 6, 7, and 8, I believe. Honestly, they could have made 2 episodes out of this Arrogance section, but they condensed it all down to 1, which is crazy. Thank God I left fast. What would have happened, Wushin? Yeah, everybody's dead. So your part of the curse should be over now. So what do we do now? You hungry again? Man, Little Apple is a straight up diva in this, in the novel and in this. I love it. I'll chew my whole hand off. So hard to please. And it's like Wushin's such a diva, and so is Little Apple. They're like a perfect match. So in the novel, they introduce this family, and we'll have to talk about that. Oh. So in the novel, Aeon at this point, this is the first time we see her in the novel and in the manhwa, and she's just like dancing hysterically and laughing. And Wushin's like, interesting. But it'd be hard to show that in an audio drama, so they just have her laugh instead to get the point across. Yes. And he still has the makeup on from before. In the Donghua, he's already washed it off, but he still has it on here. He's like, it's just for cover. Sure, just tell me what you know. I'll say anything. I love that already we're getting into the detective part of this story. Like, Wushin's already acting like a detective, and we don't have his partner Wanji with him yet, but he's already like in detective mode, and I really like that. Uh-huh. Lost her soul. And it's like we're getting introduced into more spiritual, supernatural things. Yeah, so as they're going on talking about all the bad things that have happened to these people that we assume has some connection to the goddess. Mm-hmm. In the beginning of the novel, there's a family that Wuxian meets, and this girl, she's really sweet. She gives him an apple because she's kind to him and he's kind to her back. And he takes that apple, and that's what he uses to kind of put on a string like a carrot in front of a little apple to get him to move. So it would be hard for them to show that in the audio drama, but in the novel, they kind of hint at this family, and they're going to come back in a minute, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, talking about all the events that have happened, and it's all connected. Everything's connected. Uh-huh. And I like that the audio drama does a really good job of explaining all this scene, and Wuxian's like, yeah. And all these cultivators have arrived at the foot of the mountain. Yeah, I didn't realize just how many were there that we don't see in episode 2, but there's apparently a lot that are there night hunting. And they explain in the novel what night hunting is, because if you just watch the Donghua, they expect you to know. Uh-huh, yep. I'm like, oh, this makes so much more sense. The Compass of Evil! Yes, when I read this novel, I was like, oh my god, the Compass of Evil. Yeah, and there's apparently all these different sects and clans that show up. The eviler the better, uh-huh. Wuxian, you gremlin. Yeah, but we have all these different sects and clans. In the novel, they explain what the clans and sects are, which I really like and appreciate. And this is the family that he originally found at the beginning of the novel. At the beginning of chapter 6, they helped him and gave him the apple, and then they're stuck in the nets, of course. They're cultivators. And then Wuxian feels inclined to help them because they helped him. Baby Ling! 400 daily bounding nets. Come on, dude. Let us down. He's wealthy. The 4 great clans. Yeah, and Baby Ling is just like, you guys just stay there so you're not my way. And in the novel, the people are scared that if they stay in the nets, the monster's going to attack them, and Ling just doesn't care. Oh, it's you. Painted your face. Uh-huh. And Wuxian's putting 2 and 2 together. That perverted Daddy Jin! Baby Ling is not just rude, he's homophobic. You are his uncle. Mm-hmm. Oh, that line. That line. And he says it so casually in this. And I like that they call the little paper people gluttony souls. That's interesting. Ooh. I'm so scared. And he can tell that the sword's familiar, but he can't place it. Which, you know, he's been dead for 13 years. And he cuts the people out. Yep. I want to hear Chang's voice. Why your uncle, not your dad? Ooh, yes. Oh, you can just... he's grown so big already. You can hear that heartbreak in his voice. Yeah, and he took it away. Break his legs. Feed him to your dogs. Uh-huh. Ooh. Yeah, he doesn't just hate you. He hates people like you. Yes. Baby Ling! And then, oh my god, y'all. Wanji showing up. And just showing up. I like that Sisui is like, oh, hi, hey, again. Go wherever the chaos is. Yes! Because he's looking for Wushin. And I love, since this is an audio drama, we don't hear Wanji at all. We just have to imagine he's standing there. Yeah. They're known for that. But, you know, Jingyi is such a diva. I love him. And Sisui is just trying to keep the peace. And they point out, they're like, Baby Ling is cheating, so what you gonna do? You're not helping matters. It's because they were stupid. Ha! This is the other thing that was not in the Donghua. I don't believe it was in the Donghua. I love it. It'll dissipate in 30 minutes, so... I don't think they did that in the Donghua, and I love that Wanji just shuts Ling up. He's like, stop talking. And Wanji went around and destroyed all the nets. All of them. Yes! La Wanji. That isn't yours! Ah! Uh-huh. Ooh. Yeah, and they try to make nice, but Cheng's like, it's not necessary, it's fine. Cheng's like, just such tough love. Like, come on. It's like your only family. I love that Sisui's so nice to Wushin and Mojon Yu's body. He's like, hello, we meet again. Jingyi. I love that the novel describes his voice as deep and alluring. So true. How are you going to convey this? Because in the novel, he just nods at him. Wushin's like, ah! Ah, yes! It's like, oh god. Yeah, he said that so casually. And he smacks himself across the face. So, this next scene is one that I wish had been in the Donghua. Because in the Donghua, he washes his face off in the pond outside of the Mo house, which is fine. It makes sense in the context of the show at the time. But I wish he would have kept his makeup on and washed it in this stream beside the woods, because I need to see this animated. It's so good in the manhwa and in this, where he's starting to wash the makeup off, and there's other cultivators surrounding him that are just like chit chatting and gossiping around him, and they say that basically Baby Ling is spoiled rotten by his uncle, which he is. It's tough love because Chang isn't easy on him, but Chang also spoils him a lot, and we'll talk about this like after this episode's over. But they basically gossip here by the stream about how Wushin's responsible for Baby Ling's parents' death. Wushin's so heartless. And they talk about like how cruel it was that he killed the mom and the dad of Ling. Yeah. How come that Wushin has conflicts with everyone? Have you ever heard who he was close with? His enemies were everywhere and he did wrong to everyone. And even Wanji, they were like fire and water. Were they though? And then this scene, yeah, where Wushin wipes the makeup off in the stream and just like smacks a hand in the water, and he's so mad. And in the novel, he's crying. And the manhwa, he's crying too, that he's so sad. And it's like, just breaks your heart automatically because you're like, dang it, that's not true. And he gets the soul to appear, and it's old man. The manhwa makes this pretty gruesome, like the man's head wound. It looks pretty bad. Uh, mm-hmm. I love that Wushin's just like piecing things together. Like he's such a detective here. He's like, this shouldn't be here. Stuff's happening on this mountain that shouldn't be happening. Something's off. And then he's like, Ling's on the mountain. I gotta go back and help him. Because you could just feel that heartache in his voice where he's like, that's my nephew. And it's literally his nephew now, too. And it's like, yeah, your devices aren't going to work because this is a goddess. It is not a soul-stealing monster. And like, don't you know who made the Compass of Evil? Yes, but just because he made it doesn't mean it's perfect. Yeah, I love that in the novel, Wushin is the one that says that. He's like, just because I made it doesn't mean it's perfect. Like, put me up on a pedestal. I'm not better than you guys think I am. He's like, stop it. And that's when he talks about the goddess temple. Yes. But yeah, I love that Wushin's like, I'm not infallible. Like, everybody's making me out to be this great, amazing, like, end-all, be-all. He's like, no, stop it. And then I like that the audio drama is backtracking and making it all come together. And Wushin's figuring it out, too, at the same time. Like, that's really cool. Mm-hmm. Yep. They don't know what we're dealing with. Yes. Ooh. Is that where they're going to end it? Because that's pretty much where chapter 8 ends. Nice. So, yeah. Real quick while this episode's ending. So, In the novel, they like straight up, they don't name drop Suibian, but Little Apple's a diva, and Wushin's talking about, he says in the novel, he's like, you're just useless. You're useless as a pet and useless as a mount. And then in that moment, he stops and he says that he remembers his sword and he wonders where it is. He imagines that some sect leader has it like up in his like room as a trophy. And that's like the first hint we get at the sword. But it's a nice little bit of foreshadowing because Suibian is useless as a sword. And so it's really cool. Again, the family, I like the connection of the family throughout. It's the first family he meets in chapter 6. The girl gives him the apple that he uses to lure Little Apple. And then we see them again in the nets. Like, I really like that tie-in and that connection. The Compass of Evil, I like that people are just carrying around Wushin's tools and they're complaining about them being defective. And Wushin's like, what do you expect? He's like, I'm not perfect. He even says, he's like, I was working on improvements and upgrades and then I died. And so he's like, I couldn't help it. It's like, it's funny because he's like revealing how unreliable our narrators are. Like Wushin is actively saying, you can't believe everything these people say because it's not true. And so it's a nice way of the author getting the main character to reveal that to us in a very natural way. I also like that in this novel, we get the explanation on sex, on clans, on cultivation. We get all that explained like right off the bat. And it's revealed like there's a ton of different sects and cultivators at the mountain right now, all trying to night hunt, which is really, really cool. I appreciate that. And so then the Aeon, that's the thing, the dancing girl, that he goes to the Buddha's feet and sees the dancing girl, Aeon. And I thought the audio drama did a really cool thing here where they started out explaining her praying to the goddess and then later showing her being crazy. It's a nice way of foreshadowing and connecting the dots audio, like through audio means, since you can't read it or see it in the manhwa. So that was really cool. And then, so in this, Yao is like name dropped instantly when Ling talks about, oh, it's Mo Yu, and Wushin's piecing together things. He's like, oh God, I'm in Mo Yu's body. Mo Yu is Daddy Jin's illegitimate son. Holy crap, I'm like the illegitimate son of the Jin clan leader. And they mention Yao, and Ling mentions that Yao is the only one of extraordinary talent other than, we assume it's Zixuan. And the novel also talks about Daddy Jin's wife, Madam Jin, being totally fierce and badass, which gives me very Madam Yu vibes. But I'm assuming Zixuan's mother is Madam Jin. Like, Zixuan's the legitimate son, and then he has all these bastard children. And basically, old Daddy Jin just didn't like his wife, so he just cheated on her wherever he could because he was intimidated by her and didn't like her. And Yao's the only one out of all these illegitimate children that has any type of cultivation ability, which is interesting to note. So we get like a little name drop of Yao right off the bat. Also, so Daddy Jin died in like a threesome. I read that in the novel and was like, so he was like with a group of women like having an orgy and just died in the middle of it? Amazing. I love it. I absolutely love it. That's hilarious. And of course they say that in the novel that the clans obviously couldn't tell people and spread the word that their clan leader died in an orgy. So they just said, oh no, he just died through other means. But no, he died having sex. Of course he did. That's absolutely amazing. I love that so much. So yeah, and Wushin saves the family that's in the net. And I've got a few more things to say, but I want to stop the audio drama. Oh my gosh. So yeah, the fact that Daddy Jin, the way he died, I'm like, wow. I guess that's why they didn't put that in the Donghua, because that would be a little bit like, oh, okay, kids. So let's explain what happened. But there's so much, and I'm going to probably pull up some panels from the manhwa here to talk about this before we get into episodes, the chapters 9 and 10. So before we move on, I did have some notes that I wanted to go over really quick with y'all. But that whole line, the whole fact of Wushin finding out, it hurts. And I wish they would have had the moment in the stream in the Donghua, because I love the fact of him like washing off the facade, washing off the makeup, and then revealing. And in the novel, it's so beautiful because he thinks that when he washes off the makeup, it'll show his face, Wuxin's face, Wei Ying. And then instead we see Mo Jianyu, and he's like, no, that old life is over. And it's such a beautiful scene because one, it shows us that the narrators are unreliable and that we can't rely on what people say in this thing to be taken at total face value. But two, it's really good because it shows underneath the trolling and the gremlin, Wuxin is a very troubled soul, and he's dealing with the fact that he's died. And he's like, I died, I've been dead for 13 years. I thought all this would be behind me, and it's still there. It's just the weight of everything. Wuxin's he's like, I'm a normal, he's like, I'm not anything special. And he's like, I've been dead for 13 years and I come back and y'all are still talking about me. You're still complaining about my tools that you're using. And then we get the whole thing with Chang. And that's so good. Where I love in the novel that Wuxin says, he's like, I thought that after all these years, Chang would have let go of his hate of me, but it's just gotten worse. He's like, his hate has become like alcohol, and it's just become more refined over the years. And now he doesn't just hate me, he hates anyone that's like me. He hates anyone that does the demonic arts, he hates. And it's such a cool metaphor to see that he's like, no, things have just gotten worse since I've been gone. I like that in the novel they describe Chang as having these sharp features and being a handsome man. But y'all, the novel description of Wanji, man is flawless. like they do a whole paragraph where Wuxin looks Wanji up and down, not a crease, not a wrinkle, nothing there. It's just Wanji is perfection. And I'm like, oh, novel, I'm going to like reading you. But I love that introduction of him. He's so perfect. His eyes like glass. I love it. And then, and I don't think this is in the Danhua, but Wanji making Baby Ling shut up is amazing. I read that and was like, oh, he did the silent spell on Ling. How? What? Are you kidding me? That was so good. And maybe it happened in the Danhua, and I didn't understand that that's what he did. Because when you watch the show and you realize how many times, and in the novel, Wuxin's like, yeah, Wanji's used that spell on me a lot. I know exactly what he's talking about. It's like in the show at the time for episode 2, you probably didn't realize it. But then in this, it's like, no, it's so good. I love it. And you also I like in the novel that we're not just getting Wuxin's perspective, but we're getting into the mind of some of the other characters as well. So we get into Chang's mind briefly. And Chang, I love that as tough love and hardened as he is, and clouded by hatred towards Wuxin that he is, at the heart of it, he's still a guy that cares about his family, and he cares about Ling a great deal. He's constantly worried for Ling because that's his only family. And so I like in the novel that we get in Chang's head for a second, and Chang's like, yeah, I wanted all those nets to be there so that it would be easy for Ling to catch something, because Ling is turning 15 and he wants him to make a good debut as a junior sect member. And so he's been trying to have all these nets to lure in spirits so that Ling doesn't have to fight them because he's afraid of Ling getting hurt. And it's like, oh, it's like, Chang, you big softy. But of course he can't reveal any of that because he's the clan leader and he has to appear tough. And it's like, aw. But yeah, Chang, I like too the idea that Chang hates to be at a disadvantage. Chang, and Wuxin notes that he's like, Chang hates to be at a disadvantage against others. And so that's kind of also a motivation of why he wouldn't want Ling to go through the same thing, because it's something that he wouldn't like, so he assumes his nephew wouldn't like it either. And we also get some sword name drops. We get Bishan, which is Wanji's sword. We also get that his Zither is named Wanji too, which is fine. Sandu is Chang's sword, which means 3 poisons. And then Zidian is the ring, of course. And I like that they say in the novel, anytime he strokes the ring, it means somebody's about to get killed. It's like, ooh, it's nice. Nice little subtle thing there. And then, yeah, Wuxin, the face slap is still there. But he also notes that Wanji already appears to be different than how he was in the past. How his junior sect members are acting a lot different. He's not being as stern as he once was. He's very confused. Wuxin's like, Wanji's different. What? And it's like, oh, honey, you have no idea. And so then Wushin hearing the cultivators talking about him, I love the idea that how he describes this mystery is like a strand through a set of beads. That's such a cool metaphor for him stringing together all these. He's connecting the dots. A string through a set of beads. He's connecting the dots of what's going on at this mountain and how this goddess is involved, and he's putting together the pieces. Like, I like the fact that we're already getting into the detective work that Wushin is doing, even when he's by himself. That's really cool. And then chapter 8 ends with the mentioning of the Zhang family motto about doing the impossible. And Wushin's like, I gotta do it. I gotta go to the mountain. I gotta protect baby Ling. It's just so good. It's so good. But yeah, guys. So, with that being said, we still have 2 chapters to go through. All right, y'all. But we have 2 chapters to go, like I said. So, let's do this, shall we? We have got chapters 9 and 10 pulled up here, and I'm pretty excited. So, let's start this. We are going to start this second part of the audio drama part here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. And Ling takes after his uncle so much. He can be, again, arrogance. He can be arrogant like Chang. And Chang being like, if you can't slay the monster, don't come back until you've done the job. Even though he wants to protect his nephew at all costs. And Ling is like, well then, I'll just go to the goddess and wish that she's somebody I can fight. And it's like, no, that's not what you should do. I'll make a wish right now. That's not what you should do. Why'd you do that? And Sisui's like, wait, maybe we shouldn't do that. Too late. Which in the Donghua, they don't really have the whole wishes thing. They just, she's an evil spirit goddess and is there and attacks them. Yeah. Yep, sucked his soul right out. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's not freaky at all. Oh my gosh. Sure, my sound is up. Yep, episode 3. Yeah. And they don't work on it either. Because it's kind of beyond that. Oh my gosh, children! Who's your children? Do you have any idea who we are? Okay, I have to say, Jingyi is... I did not pick up on him in the Donghua as much, but that whole children part... Oh my god, Wushin's like, children, come on! He's like, you ain't that much older than us! And Wushin's like, damn it. He's like, I am! And then, yeah, he chides them because he's like, you guys forgot to bring all the signals. What are you doing? Okay. Sorry, that was technical. Mm-hmm. And then him explaining all of this to them is so good because it's Wushin establishing to Jingyi and Shisui that he can be trusted and that he knows what he's talking about. But also, he doesn't reveal too much too soon. He tries to, like, make them walk through it with him. He's like, no, figure it out too. Like, what does this mean? And then Sisui's like, well, does it mean this? And he's like, yeah. And so he kind of leads them along. He's like, you guys are in the land sect. Come on, figure it out. Quit teaching that annoying, lengthy nonsense. Teach more practical things. Teach more vocational arts. So yeah, I like that he's teaching them and getting them to critically think about this. So he's not totally revealing that he's beyond Mo Jianyu's thinking capacity, and they'll respect him more because he's figured it out. And they're like, man, you're a lunatic, but you can think this good. And he's like, well. So yeah, there's also a part in here. Well, we're not got to it yet. I'm gonna wait. But yeah, I really like that him explaining and going all through this, doing this detective work with them. But yeah, Jingxi is such a diva, and I didn't even realize that going into this. I was like, how did I not pick him up during the Donghua? But I kind of love him. I'm like, for a land member, you got some sass. And they're piecing together that, yeah, he made the wish, and then that's how the soul got taken. And the only reason that Yan got her soul back was because her dad wanted her to get it back, and he traded something for her soul. So it's like, it is. Yep. Will asked. He's like, I don't have to use my ultra deduction powers. This is all pretty common sense, guys. And oh, cool, we're tying back to her at the very beginning of episode 2. Nice. Uh-huh. You didn't say for how long, you just said it for his lifetime. Mm-hmm. See, yeah, we didn't get any of this detective stuff in the Donghua. It was just something supernatural that they had to fight, which I get for time's sake. Like I said, you could have made this 2 episodes. I get for time's sake why they did it. But I love this detective part so much because it's them piecing it all together. And it just adds to... So that way, when we get to season 2 and there's the mystery angle, I'm like, man, this came out of nowhere. It's like, no, it's been here all along. The mystery and intrigue has been here from the start. We just focused more on the action parts of it in season 1 and then got into the detective work in season 2. Uh-huh. And it was fractured, and that's why she went crazy and started doing all the dancing and the other stuff. And she would imitate the goddess and laugh. That's cool, because, yeah, she did intimidate her. She did imitate, not intimidate, imitate her. Mm-hmm. Tell me all the details. Ah. And oh, I like the voices overlapping. Cool. Time to get its payment. We gots to go. And it's eating people, yeah. Which was pretty gruesome in the manhwa, by the way. This part. Why would you blindly believe him? No rules stay the same in all situations. Yes, yes. I love in the novel, Wushin's like, why are you worshipping him? He's not right 100% of the time. Yes. And then laying. The magical tools don't work. And then Wushin's like, well, if the magical tools aren't going to work, Yeah, and Ling won't put up the signal because he's arrogant and doesn't want to do it. Baby Ling. If magical weapons don't work, then what about dark sorcery? Yes. And I love they take Sizui's sword to get the flute. I love Xingyi's like, why you playing a flute at a time like this? It ain't even good. And then Wushin's like, this was kind of like a last resort, but I don't have a choice now because Ling's in trouble. And that's when we get, it's like anything show up and help. Ling. Oh, the chains! This has such a different context after seeing the second season. And he's like, crap. Why is he here? Yes! And just breaks the neck of the statue. Yep. I want to hear it. I want to hear the Wang Shin in a minute. Owning. Yeah, and I like that the novel establishes he's clearly not conscious. Like, it's a nice hint to a foreshadowing of the fact that he can become conscious. He saved us, yeah. The creation of the Ealing Patriarch. Nice. Yeah, it's not like the Ealing Patriarch is standing right there. Oh, come on, Wushin. Yeah, you played your flute too fast. I'm just waiting for it. It's you. And he plays a little faster to get him to leave. You. I just need to deny it till the end. Yeah, he's like, why didn't you send the signal? Come on. Yeah, you did say that. And yes. Moon's just like, oh God, no! Oh yeah, get that zither out. Ling, watch your mouth. And then Wushin's gonna try to run away. But you ain't fast enough. How mighty of you. But you can't whip a soul out of a possessed body if it wasn't possessed to begin with. The body was offered. But they don't know that. Yeah, it's like it can't be wrong. So don't use the tool again. And they're like, oh, you know, it's Daddy Jin's like illegitimate son. So they're trying to like beat around the bush, and they're like, oh, he doesn't have a lot of spirit energy, and he harassed a peer, and he was kicked out. And Chang's like, I don't get it. What? And they're like, you know, he's gay. It's like, and then yeah, Chang's like, wait, Wuxian always flirted with girls, so he couldn't possibly inhabit the body of someone riding a donkey that likes dudes. It's like, little do you know. Wuxian's like, lame. He's like, you don't play the flute for 10 years and then play it for the first time and tell me how it is. And then Chang's like, yeah, I'm going to try to interrogate him. Huh? Yeah, and they're like, no, the truth is he's not possessed, so why are you making it hard on everybody? And he's like, then why is he protecting nobody? And Wuxian decides he's going to try to troll both of them. And it backfires horribly. I don't like all types of men. You are not my type. You don't even know. You said this yourself. He's like, oh, you don't even know, Wuxian, you don't get it. No. Ah! Oh, that's where it ends. Yes. Oh my god. Amazing. Amazing. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's where it ends. Okay, wait. I thought I saw that there was a little bit there at the end. And so I'm going to go back and rewatch it. Because it seemed a lot longer. I was like, wait, is there more at the end here? It seems the end credits seemed longer than usual. So we're going to go back and see what was left over. I was like, man, the end credits are like 5 minutes. And in the last part, they were only like 3. So is there a preview? I'm getting the sense that I need to not skip till the very end of the episode. But yeah, I've got notes as soon as this is over. I've got some notes that I want to go over about chapters 9 and 10 that I didn't get to talk about and show you guys some images from the manhwa. But I'm so curious now. I was like, man, this last part's a little bit longer than the last episode of the audio drama. So is it a preview? Let's see. I do like this ending song. So sorry this part isn't timed, but I turned the timer off and then I was like, wait, I need to probably watch this till the end. But you guys can see the words on the screen, so you can probably time it up and sync it. What a glorious picture of Wanji, too. And yeah, so the Frostblade, they make a point of saying Bishan is like snow and ice, which kind of connects to Zhao, right? Because his blade does the snow and the ice petal and the flower. I'm very curious. Very curious now. Yeah, it's only like 30 seconds extra, so we'll have to see. Okay. Are we getting into steamy stuff already? Okay. I had to take a moment and collect myself because I was like, oh god, are we already getting into steamy bits? Are we doing this right now? Is this happening? Is this happening? Okay, cool, great, glad we have that to look forward to in the next episode. Awesome, wonderful. maybe it's a misdirect. Maybe it's a red herring. I don't know, but I'm really excited. So yeah, oh my gosh. So, with chapters 9 and 10, the fight with the goddess. Obviously, doing a fight with an audio drama is rather difficult, but I think they do a really good job with the sound effects and the audio and everything, getting it all to kind of meld together. That was really, really cool, and I really appreciate that. So, again, Jingyi, total diva, the where are your children, and then Wushin forgetting his age. Wushin already showing signs that he is forgetting that he is, 13 years in the future, stuck in the body of Mo Jianyu. It's like, man, I thought in season 2 it was bad, and I think it's because we spent most of season 1 in a flashback, so you don't realize just how terrible Wushin is at hiding who he is. It's like, but yeah. So, the other thing is, I love that Jingyi, what a diva, like, just ratting him on his flute playing, his awful flute playing, and Wushin's like, well, you try being dead for 13 years and coming back and playing a flute, you young whippersnapper. It's like, I love it. I absolutely love it. And then there's little ties to little nods that Ning is not conscious, so Wushin playing through that. The part in the novel and in the manhwa and in this, where in this audio drama it's not as apparent, but you get to see Wushin's thought process in the manhwa and I really like in the manhwa how it's done. It's done very well. But the whole thing of Wushin saying, I needed to play something soothing, something that I remembered calmed me, and it was Wangshin. It's the Wangshin theme. And then, oh my god, Wanji grabbing his wrist and being like, and just that kind of feral look on Wanji's face where he realizes, like, it's you. You're back. Oh my god. And in that moment, you don't realize it unless you watch the Donghua, but that look of, I've waited 13 years and I've gone wherever the chaos has been for 13 years to try and find you, Wushin. It's like, oh my gosh. I absolutely love it. So, yeah. Then I love the Chang being like, well, I found you. And then Wushin, bless his heart, bless our little cat at Gremlin's heart. There's the little thing there where Chang, the Jin sect tries to tell Chang, he's like, oh, well, and they use the cut sleeve in the novel. That's the metaphor, but they just straight up say he's homosexual in this. And Chang's just kind of like, what? And then Chang's like, well, Wushin did ambiguously flirt with a lot of girls when he was alive, so would he have picked the body of a gay man riding a donkey? But little does he know, yes, Wushin would have. But he wasn't actually. He was forced into this body. But I also like the idea that Wushin's like, I'm just going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And they name drop in the novel. They name drop the Sunshot campaign. They name drop that in the novel. So I wanted to mention that really quick. That it's brought up. It's just mentioned in passing. And we've talked about the 4 major clans. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, Wushin's like, I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm going to insult both Chang and Wanji and say something that's going to insult both of them. And then I'm going to get them to be arguing with each other. And then I'm going to peace out. And so Chang, obviously, he's like, Chang hates being compared with someone. and losing in that comparison. So he's like, oh, well, I'm not interested in your type, Chang. And Chang's like, what? Like, he's mad about it. He's like, what do you mean you don't like my type? And then Wushin's like, no, my type is Wanji, is Lanzan's type. And here's the thing, Wushin, you done fuzzed up, because you think that Wanji, he's thinking of Wanji in the past that would have, not wanted anything to do with such lewd, vulgar remarks. But oh, Wushin, this Wanji's different. He's had 13 years to pine after you and realize his feelings. And yeah, you just admitted that he's your type, and he knows it's you. So yeah, you done goofed. And I love that he's like, in the novel he says, mark your words. And here he's like, you're going to live up to exactly what you said. I'm taking you with me. It's like, and all that from the Donghua makes total sense. Wanji's like, you got away from me last time and hurt yourself because you didn't come back when I told you to. I'm not giving you that chance again. It's like, It's also said in the novel, another reason why the sect members from the Lan group are so adamant about Wushin not being taken back by Chang is it's established in the novel that Chang, when he interrogates people, he severely hurts them. Like, he's very cruel to them and, like, really takes the interrogation to the extreme. And Zishui, who's kind of, become friends with Mojan Yu, is like, well, we don't want that to happen to you, so we're going to try to prevent that. So, yeah. I put my notes here. I put Wushin tries to anger both Wanji and Chang, but ho, ho, ho. That was my notes. I said ho, ho, ho with a little smiley face. Like, that doesn't work. And then, ooh. So, as of right now, chapters 1 through 10, things haven't gotten steamy, but we've had extra moments, like the whole thing with the family, the thing with the stream, the thing with Wanji shutting Ling up, and then just little added extra references to things that will come up later. Like, we've had these little moments, but we've not had anything explicit yet. But that preview show, audio drama, you're promising some things. So, we'll see if it holds up to it. But yeah, so that was chapters 6 through 10. The next set is quite a long set, so I need to look at the audio drama and see how long the audio dramas are. It's like a lot of chapters, so I don't know for sure yet if I'm going to go through the entire thing in one sitting, because this is probably by the time I edit this, it'll probably be about an hour long. So I don't know if I'm going to go through the entire thing in one sitting or break it up into 2 parts, but I'm pretty excited. So far, it's followed the Donghua pretty good with episodes 1 and 2, but I have a feeling, since some of you have said, like, the Untamed handles the flashback differently, the novel handles the flashback differently, I'm curious to see from here on. From here on, it's uncharted waters, y'all, because I don't know where we're going to with this from here, but I've heard that around chapter 30, we start getting into season 3-ish things. So we're on chapter 11 coming up, so it's going pretty fast. But yeah, we shall see, right? But anyway, I hope y'all like this reaction. Getting the whole timer and video and everything synced up is kind of weird. It's something I'm not used to ever doing before, so I hope this all worked out. But yeah, I'm curious to know your thoughts down below, but I'm excited for the next episode. But we shall see. In the meantime, I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe and take care, and I'll talk to you all again very soon. Bye.